Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing a reading aloud, and it's about a traditional tale. This is a traditional tale from the Native Americans of California. It's called The People with Five Fingers. Hey, must be about us. And it's a Native Californian creation tale. Now, a creation tale is something that tells how people came to live on the earth. And as you can tell, when I'm looking at the cover, I see that there's an animal on earth. So that's really interesting, because how did animals come to help humans become people that lived on the earth? Well, for as long as people have been around, they've wondered how the earth, its people, and its animals came to be here. Before the times of information where you could just swipe on your phone and look for it or search the internet, the people of ancient cultures passed down stories to explain the wonders of the universe and the earth around them, because they didn't know how else to prove it. So they made up stories, and then one person told another person, and another person told another person. One family member told another family member, they told another family member, a grandfather told a grandson, and so these stories passed down through years and years and generations until they became something that was part of the culture and helped the culture explain these things about the earth and the universe. Now, they often included magical beings and heroes, but Native American stories like this one often included talking animals. So let's take a look at our book, The People with Five Fingers, a Native Californian creation tale. Now, here on the front cover it says Retold by John Bierhorst. That means he's not the man that sat down and wrote this for the first time. He is somebody that is telling it again. He's retelling the story that has been passed down from generation to generation. And the pictures are by Robert Andrew Parker. Now, before we get started, I'm going to give you a little background on the California Native Americans and their creation stories. In the days before California became part of the United States, nearly every one of its many valleys was home to a separate Native American nation, each with different customs. Nowhere else in the Americas were so many languages spoken in so small an area. But the differences were not barriers. The people came together to trade. They learned each other's languages, and they shared stories. Among the best-loved stories were tales of the ancient time when the world as we know it was created by Coyote and the other animals. The animals could talk. They asked questions, and they told about their dreams. Accomplished storytellers, Native Californians were also gifted prophets. Often, their stories of the ancient time looked into the future. The story that follows predicts a day when the land would be filled with many different kinds of people, whose ancestors would come not only from America, but from Europe, Africa, and Asia. Today, as is well known, the Native American presence remains strong in California, which has also made room, as the story tells, for people from all parts of the earth. Page 1. There was a world before this one, and all the animals were in it. Coyote was there too. He began to walk. In his mind, he made wishes and plans, and he put on a belt. "What I plan will stand true," he said. "Are there going to be any people in this world?" asked the others. "Yes," said Coyote. "This earth cannot stay naked." "Where will the people live?" they asked. "Mostly in valleys," said Coyote. "Some will live on mountains. But the world that used to be was flat." Then the Gopher brothers began kicking earth down from the north. They made the mountains. "Here will be a valley," they said, "and here and here. In these valleys there will be houses and villages." That is so interesting because I know that I live in the San Joaquin Valley, and I have lived in other valleys before too. So they've all been in California. That's really interesting that that's how the Native Americans of California decided that that's how our valleys and our mountains were created. I also know that there's mountains if I just look to the east. What an interesting explanation for how valleys and mountains were created. Coyote reached into his belt. I was wondering what that was for. And pulled out pairs of figures as big as tiny seeds. All over the land he planted them. As he put them into the ground, he said to them, "You shall grow. Keep growing through many dawns, through many evenings, until you are born." "What kind of people will they be?" asked the others. "They will speak different languages," said Coyote, "and they will be different in color." So the Native Americans believed that people were grown from the earth. And then he said that he planted a bunch of different colors, just like all the people on earth. We're all different colors. Coyote kept walking. He drew his hand down from the mountains, forming a river. "This will be a roadway for the fish," he said. He made small creeks by dragging his foot. "Wherever these flow, the water will be good," he said. "The people will drink this." So he provided water for us to live on. "What will the people eat?" the animals asked. Then Eagle flew over the earth. Her feathers dropped and became trees. Her smallest feathers became bushes and plants. The Gopher brothers, still tired from making mountains, opened their mouths to yawn, and out came roots and berries. Black Bear held down her hand, and pine seeds spilled onto the ground. Grizzly Bear opened her hand, and plums rolled out. We grow plums in the valley. "What will be salt?" asked Black-tailed Deer. They tasted many things. Ocean foam became salt. "The people will eat their food with this," they said. Coyote joined his hands and spread them wide. Then springs appeared with willows all around them. "Now the people will have willow wood," he said, "for making baskets." Then he looked at his hands and said, "The people's hands will be just like mine." Coyote's hands were round. "The people can't make baskets with round hands," said Lizard. But nobody heard her. Her mouth was so small. That's true. They do have very small mouths. In those days, the sun had not yet come up, and all the rocks were still soft. "I will print my hand on this rock," said Coyote. "Then people will always have hands like mine." But Lizard was faster than Coyote. She slipped up behind him and printed her own hand on the rock. "There," she cried, "the people will have 5 fingers." So she put her hand on there so that they would have 5 fingers and be able to make the baskets from the willow trees. That was smart. We needed those 5 fingers. Coyote could not change it. He felt sleepy. Then he lay his head to the north. It was cold. He lay his head to the west. It was cold. To the south, it was cold. Then he slept with his head to the east. His head was warm. He dreamed. I wonder if this is his dream. It kind of looks like there's stars everywhere. I wonder. Let's keep reading and find out. Then he jumped up. "I dreamed the sun is in the east," he said, and he began to walk. When he found the sun, he cut it into pieces and threw them into the air. Oh, so it was the sun he cut. All right, kind of like stars. "Moon, sun, fly into the sky. Stars became many in it," he cried. Then the sun went around the world. Morning came and all the rocks dried out and were hard. After many dawns and many evenings, Coyote sent to the moon for a bag of words and a bag of laughter. In the morning there will be much noise, he said. Then he put all the animals to sleep. He poked each one with his nose and said, "You sleep, you sleep, you sleep." The sun went down and the earth cooled off a little. In the morning, while the animals were still sleeping, the new people burst from the ground. Remember, he had planted all those seeds? There was much noise. The world was filled with the people's laughter and talking. The animals, hearing the noise, woke up and ran away. Some went into the woods. Some jumped into the water. Some flew into the sky. From that time on, the animals did not speak. I guess Coyote forgot to get words for the animals. But the new people were all over the land. They were in the valleys and along the ocean. Some were high in the mountains. They had been planted in every kind of space. But they had all been put in the earth by Coyote, and all the animals had planned their future. This is why today there are many different people. And why they are all the same, with hands that have 5 fingers, like yours and mine. How cool. So even though they were planted and so many different colors came out, so many different kinds of people, we all are the same because we all have the same hands. And I love this last illustration because that's the Golden Gate Bridge of San Francisco. So I hope you enjoyed the creation tale that I read called The People with 5 Fingers, and how interesting it is that people come to tell the tale of how the earth and the universe was created. Have a great day.